doing what they've done here tonight.
Amen.
I'm just going to tell you the sermon, not very long, but I personally don't think that it has to be a long sermon to get a point across. I just want to thank everybody for coming out to hear me speak tonight. And I want to thank everybody for letting me speak tonight. We're going to talk about teamwork. What is teamwork? Anybody hear me? What is teamwork? Teamwork is every person doing their job and trusting other teammates to do their part to accomplish the task at hand. In football, you have to have teamwork to be successful and win. I want to show you how teamwork can also be applied to our walk as Christians. For example, in football we train, which is to get our bodies prepared and able to endure the beatings that it's going to go throughout the season. When we're kids, our moms and our dads take us to church to teach us about God and to help us learn from right and wrong, which to me is a type of training to help us prepare ourselves for life, that the beatings that our spiritual body is going to overcome. Another example is practice. In Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. In football, we practice to teach us what to do in the game, to prepare us to prevent us from having too many mistakes, which to me is like church. We go to church to learn more about God and to prepare us through the week so we don't make as many mistakes. The game. The game is the time where you have to be prepared for battle. To make the least amount of mistakes as you possibly can. But you got to remember, there will be mistakes. And when those mistakes are made is when teamwork comes into play. That's where your teammates have to lift you up and let you know that they got your back. And for you to shake it off and tell you, man, you got this. We got this together. Because it's not over and there's still work left to do. 1 Peter 4, 8 through 10. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling, as each has received a gift. Use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's divine grace. We as Christians have to use teamwork, or we will fail. When someone messes up, it's our job to be there for them, to lift them up, and tell them, man, you got this. You got this. Together. I asked a good friend of mine if I could use him as an example in this sermon. He was perfectly okay with it. But he's a young man who's talented enough to play football in college somewhere. Well, after the game last Friday night, there were people in no class put posts on Facebook that had his name and who and the question mark beside it. Don't get me wrong. On the football field and during the game, we look at the opposing team as the enemy. But after the game, you just can't do that. It's not right. But anyway, after a day or two of posts going on, he decides he's going to make himself a post and tell them exactly who he is. And this is what it says. Another great Saturday. Friday night has passed. Great futures to be continued for everyone. We took a hard loss to Brilliant Tigers, who came out and played a great game. I haven't watched them play but once, but I think by far that's the best game they have played all season. Congrats to y'all. Representing Marion County is the county we are all in. Good job to all of y'all. As for my Raiders, hold your heads up high. As a leader, I have to tell you that. It all has to end one day, everything happens for a reason. Y'all are forever my boys. I love each and every one of y'all. I'll play my last football game as a Raider next Friday. I look forward to that game and will give it my all. I noticed some more Ready Who's on Facebook the other day, and I received some Ready Who text messages. No names because I'm a better person. Raiders are not a one-man team. I'm not the team. Take away my lineman, see how many yards I get. Take away my quarterback, see how many catches I get a game for touchdowns. Take away the scout team, and how would we be prepared for others? Take away my coaches and see where I would be. Would I even be playing football? Who knows? If you want to know who Ready is, I'll give you an answer. My name is Darrell Swanigan, kid raised in small town Ewing. I was born in Winfield, Alabama on August 23rd, 1995. I went to Ewing my whole life. Grandmother gave me the nickname Ready when I had just learned to walk. I never crawled, just rode everywhere, and then one day learned to walk. Football is not who I am. Basketball is not who I am. Track is not who I am. I'm like every other person with a God-given talent. Thank you. If you notice, he talks about how without his team, he would not have been successful as a football player. The same applies to the church. In 1 Corinthians 12, 17 through 20, if the whole body were an eye, what would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, what would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts of the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be. If they were all one part, what would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. Without each and every one of us doing our part, we would not be successful, and we would not be doing our jobs. And that is to bring as many Christian souls to heaven with us as we possibly can. Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So when the play is over, when the last play is played, when the final whistle is blown, what will be the score? If you haven't been baptized and you want to become a child of God, there's a baptistry right here waiting. Or maybe you have been baptized. You've strayed away and you want to get back in the game. Remember, we're all in this together. Just come forward as we stand and sing. Oh,